Hey everyone, and welcome to my anime tier list for summer 2021. I've already sorted out the anime that I have not watched, and we're going to be rating these from S to C, including the ones I've dropped. I'm not going to really go into discussion about what these are about, unless some of the more obscure ones maybe I might do if I've watched them and haven't seen many people talk about them, and maybe just give my reasonings for why I've put them there. So, let's get into it. First one is second season of Baccarina, the Otome game, where the main character is so dumb and everyone likes her. This is actually, I actually enjoy this anime. It's not a fantastic anime by any means, but it's just a fun, turn your brain off kind of watch anime. I almost feel like B is too high. I feel like C, but I also feel like I probably need to add like a D row here. Yeah, we'll do that. So yeah, I'd put this in C tier. It's a fun watch. Nothing too special about it, but not bad either. Oh, and I do like it where the character has the nickname amongst the community of Baccarina, because she is just kind of very thick-headed in the anime. Kanojo Mo Kanojo Mo Kanojo. This is, I guess, the anime everyone would consider trash for the season, but I don't know, I guess I like trash anime. This one I would say is not bad. I think I would put this in the B tier. It's very entertaining. You know, it doesn't have the kind of story that is going to really make you think. It has the story, as many people would put it, where you're going to lose brain cells by watching it. But it's just a very entertaining watch. And I was very entertained by it. I looked forward to every new episode because it was such a stupid but entertaining show. So yeah, I'd give that a B tier. Now, Remake Our Life was actually a very interesting one, actually. I think a lot of people have seen this, one where the main character kind of goes back in time 12 years and wants to kind of relive his life, but then he relives a bit of it and goes back into the future. This one was actually just really good. Really interesting scenes, in-depth characters, and, you know, an actual motivation, actual issues that the main character comes across by going back, which I think everyone can kind of relate to and everyone can understand his issues from. So this is definitely going in the B tier, probably top of B tier for now. I kind of want to put it in the A tier, but I think we'll leave it top of B for now. So the Mahoko school one that that concentrates on the sister. I dropped this after. I tried to watch this. I dropped this after about 4 episodes. I've watched all of the original season of this. Irregular at Magic High School it was called. I've watched all of the original season of this. I've watched season 2, which wasn't as good. It kind of gets a bit like Index in the way that it doesn't really explain anything. I don't know if it's explained better in the light novel, but it doesn't really explain the magic or anything in the show. So and the show is so much about the magic, and we get all of this like spectacle and everything, but we don't really understand anything about it. And this season just goes through what is season 1, but from the side characters' perspective. And yeah, it's like kind of, I feel like it's made for fan service, but it's just kind of meh. This one, The Realest Hero, I had a lot of hopes for this one. I've actually read the light novel for this one, and I would highly, if you haven't seen the show, or if you saw the show and you thought it was like kind of here and there, I would highly recommend reading the light novel for this anime. The light novel is really good, and it was written, the light novels were written, the first 3 were written to be one big book. Because there's a really dumb thing in this show where it's like the main character gets taken to another world and he's made the king. And I think a lot of people were like, it's kind of silly, like why'd this happen? There is actually a legitimate story reason for why this happens, but they don't tell you until the end of the 3rd light novel. And the anime, I think, only goes through the first like 2.5 light novels, so that may not actually get explained. I think, at least. I don't know if there's been one more episode since since recording this. But yeah, I think this would be bottom of B. Currently, the anime. It's still very much enjoyable. The light novel is definitely higher, though. The light novel for me would be like A or S. At least the first 3 light novels for it. Another one that I dropped. This one I had, again, high hopes for, because the first episode was 40 minutes long. It had this really cool action scene, but it was so far-fetched. It was like, I really had trouble just coming to terms with the fact that there was some weird blob thing taking control of this guy, and that the detective really worked out the guy's motivation for why he was trying to crash the plane from like a couple of episodes. Yeah, I kind of wish this one was better. Another one that I dropped, the maid one, where the main character, whatever he touches, dies. I thought it was alright. I didn't mind too much about the computer animation there, but it was just fine. Slime Season 2. I really want to put this in A, but I think Season 2 was a lot slower than Season 1. And we're talking about Part 2 as well. We're not talking about the first arc. We're talking about where a lot of people get killed. We're talking about the second arc. And the second arc was just very slow. It had some cool fights at the end, some really cool stuff happening. But yeah, it was just slow. Rimuru was never in really any danger. He kind of overpowered the main villain very, very easily. And I get that this isn't a isekai with an overpowered main character, but yeah, I'd still put it in B tier. I'd still put it up here. I think if they had faster pacing for this, it would have been better, but you know, I'm still very much looking forward to Season 3. Dragon Maid. Again, another one where I'm like A or B. I really like the inclusion of the new character Ilulu. I like that we got to see more about all the characters in this show. We got to see more about their backstories. We got to see Toru making up and making friends with the kind of water dragon there. I forget her name. But yeah, just a really fun show. And again, it's one of those ones that I'm not sure whether I want to put it in A or B. Maybe I shouldn't have like D, D or anything here. You know what? I'll leave this in A tier. It's a really fun show with character building and character development. And yeah, I'm really looking for. I'm hoping they're going to do a Season 3 for this one. The isekai of the season. Sukaga, what was that? Michi Biku Isekai Dochu. Probably butchered that name. Again, this was not a bad isekai. I'd actually read a lot of the manga for this before this came out, so I knew this was going to be your above average isekai, and yeah, it was above average. I think I'll put it, I don't know, I think I'll put it top of C for now. I think it has a lot of, a lot of promise, right? That final battle in the finale, I think, was definitely B tier, if not above. But the majority of the anime was here and there. Maybe it was because I've read the manga and I kind of already know what's going to happen. I feel like this one does have a lot of potential, but we're maybe just not seeing it yet. There are some things towards the at the end where we see other things that are happening in this world, and I feel like this is an anime that could get a lot better, could have a lot more potential, especially if it gets darker, because the final battle was kind of fairly dark in a way, but we just need to kind of see that potential. But yeah, I think top of C is good for now. Oh, now the best anime of this season, Easy S. Easy S. If you have not seen this, I think this might be on Crunchyroll, so a lot of people, I mean not Crunchyroll, Funimation. So a lot of people may not have seen this. Black Company is basically Konosuba. It is Konosuba, but with more competent characters. Think if Kazuma actually had the competency to basically take over like an entire city, or even rule the world, So I guess since this is one I don't think too many people have seen, I'll give a quick summary. Main character there, Mr. Nanomiya, I think his name is. So he is like the biggest NEET. He's like early 20s. He's basically made this, he made this big property market for himself in Japan. So he basically just rents out his properties, never has to work another day in his life. He's got like a big high-rise, flat. Never has to work another day of his life, and he's like, finally, I will live my day, the rest of my life as a NEET. I never have to leave this apartment again. And then a portal opens up beneath his feet and he gets taken to this other world where he has nothing. But yeah, he is... Easiest way to explain it, main character is Kazuma, but just a more competent Kazuma. And it's about him basically trying to make it big in this other world and using whatever dirty tactics he can. And it's great. It's really, really good. I really, really hope we're going to get another season of it. And if you haven't watched it, this is the anime that I recommend to watch this season. 100% best anime this season. And now for the worst anime this season. Standing on 100 lives, or 100, I think it's called Stand on 100 Lives Season 2. So bad. I don't know how this got a Season 2. I don't know why I mean, I didn't watch it all properly. I kind of flicked through a lot of it, but it's so bad. It's about the... I mean, people probably haven't watched it. It's about these our main characters that get sent to this other world and need to sort out issues in this other world. I've done an Everything Wrong with Peach Boy episode on my channel. I think I'm definitely going to have to do an Everything Wrong episode with this show. It's really, really bad. Do not watch this show. D-Side, another one that I dropped after a short time. Battle in 5 seconds, even though for some reason they don't take 5 seconds to have their battles. This one is either bottom of C or top of D. I'm going to put it bottom of C. At least I kind of didn't mind watching this show every week. It at least had some kind of interesting aspects to it. It tries to be smart, like JoJo or Death Note. It tries to have those battles where it's like, oh, I outsmarted you, but no, I outsmarted your outsmarted. It tries to do that and fails. And yeah, it's... this is another one I think I need to do an Everything Wrong with. Again, not bad. It is entertaining, which is why it's not in D tier. But not bad, just has a whole ton of issues. What have we got? The Great Jahi Summer. Again, this would probably be top of C. This is kind of like... I feel like this is kind of like Dragon Maid, but not as good. Or Dragon Maid mixed with Devil is a Part-Timer, but not as good. It's about Jahi, again, kind of like Devil Part-Timer, about Jahi, who used to be very powerful in the demon world, and now she basically doesn't have any of her magic and everything, and she's just trying to get by. But she's wholly incompetent and still has all of her delusions of grandeur. But it is a fun, nice watch, and I definitely enjoyed my time watching this show. But it's definitely not anything more than the C tier, and I don't see it becoming anything more than C in the future, but who knows? Maybe it will. Seirei... What is this? Seirei Gensoku? Something like that. I probably butchered the name again. This is another isekai that I actually read the first light novel for. And the first light novel was not bad. But this anime was kind of not great. I wouldn't say it was bad, but I also wouldn't say it was great. It's just very bland, especially when you look at the Crunchyroll comments and everyone's comparing the main character to Kirito. I think the worst thing about this anime is the main character is just... He shows no emotion at all. He's just very bland, doesn't show any emotion, is very overpowered, and yeah. It's definitely going to be here somewhere. But it was at least a little bit entertaining. I do like Sword Art Online. Despite Kirito being Kirito, I do like Sword Art Online because it is an entertaining show. Seirei is entertaining. The question is it more or less entertaining than Battle in 5 Seconds? I'm going to put it less. Second core of... What the hell was this show called again? To Your Eternity. That was it. Second core of To Your Eternity. This is A. This is probably top of A. I did not think the second core was as good as the first half of this season, but it was still good, and I believe we're getting a second season as well. One of the really, really good things this show has done that has really surprised me in the second arc is just the Fushi, the main character, just his growth as a character, his development is really, really good. I feel like the whole concept of every arc we're going to meet someone, Fushi gets close to them, and then they die. I feel like that is kind of getting old now, and that was especially old in the second half. Hopefully, with the kind of time skip we see at the end of the second half, hopefully for Season 2 things will change and things will be different. But yeah, definitely top of A tier here. Oh, Peach Boy Riverside. This is going to be... You know what? So Peach Boy Riverside, I almost feel like it deserves its own tier. I did an everything wrong video of this, and yeah, some people, you know, put it up here. Some people can't really seem to take a joke with this. This show, this is another like kind of bad show. It has a ton of plot holes and just issues with its story in this show, but it is actually really entertaining. And so you know what, I would actually put it up here above these two, above these three in fact. It's definitely by far more entertaining than these three shows are, despite its issues, despite how its episodes are not in chronological order, despite everything. It was actually a, you know, an entertaining show. So I have to put it up here. Scarlet Nexus, I dropped it after about 4 episodes, and finally My Hero. You know what, I'll leave this in B tier. The second half of this season, I really, really hope. When I did my anime tier list last season, I was really optimistic with this show because I was really hoping it was going to get to the big, big arc that changes everything. And it didn't. It just really filled things along. It really extended out some episodes, and you know, instead we did not get that arc. Next season we are going to get that arc, and hopefully it is fantastic. But I think the second half was just of this season was really bad. In fact, I'm going to put it down to C tier because it was just really not that great. the second half. Oh no, I can't do that. I can't do that. We'll leave it at the bottom of B. It's still decent. You know, it's still good. It's just not as good as as a lot of the other of the show. But yeah, that is my tier list. Let me know what you think of this. If there is any show I recommend this season, it is Black Company. If you have not watched this show, definitely go watch it. I believe it's on Funimation. In editing, I'll put it around here if it isn't. But yeah, that is my tier list, ladies and gentlemen, for summer 2021. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, please consider giving me a like and maybe subscribing to the channel. This has been That's Evan Rich. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.